All right, this is Ubaid on behalf of Electronics, and in this video, we'll be talking about different systems of economies. Okay, so when I talk about system, we're talking about types of economy. Okay, you can have a traditional economy, you can have a market-based economy, you can have a command economy, okay, so on and so forth. So when it comes to your traditional economy, okay, when it comes to your traditional economy, this has to do with agriculture mostly. Okay, so let's say you have a traditional economy, which is based on agriculture. Okay, so this is traditional economy. Okay, so this is an economy where farmers may get together, they may trade goods, they may barter goods based on what they produce and what they need. Okay, so this is what used to happen back in the days, okay, for centuries. However, okay, this traditional economy eventually turned into a command economy, okay, with the rise in monarchy. All right, so this is your traditional. So this is agriculture based economy. All right, so this is your traditional. This is based on agriculture. All right, the second type of economy has to do with your command economy. Okay, now this command economy is sort of like your monarchy. Okay, one such example would be ancient Egypt, maybe. All right, where you have the pharaoh that gives orders to his or her population. Okay, um, so that would be an example of a command economy. Okay, so you have command economy. All right, so this is where you have monarchy, for example. More recent examples of command economy would be North Korea and Cuba, maybe, okay, as listed by some sources. So this would be based off monarchy, maybe even dictatorship. All right, so that would be your command economy. The third type of economy would be your market economy. Now, in a market economy, such as the US economy, okay, the companies or the firms, they make their decisions based on the market. Okay, so if it's a perfect competitor, okay, that perfect competitor, whether it's a firm or business, okay, that firm or business will take prices from the market. Okay, so this is, for example, take prices from the market. Now, we talked about taking prices from the market. This is where your marginal cost, okay, equals your price, so marginal revenue. Okay, your marginal revenue is the same as your price. Okay, and when marginal cost equals marginal revenue or price, this is your profit maximization point. Okay, so take price. This is if you have a perfect competitor. Now, on the other side, if you have a monopoly, the monopoly will set prices. Okay, we talked about monopolies as well. Okay, so when it comes to monopolies, we know that their price is more than the price at the profit maximization point. Okay, and their price is more than their marginal cost. All right, so this will be setting prices, and this would be your monopoly. So we know that the monopoly would set prices, the perfect competitor will take prices. Now, apart from these two, we also have, okay, monopolistic competition, okay, which produces differentiated products, sort of like your monopoly, with the exception of producing differentiated products rather than similar products or unique products in the case of a natural monopoly. Okay, and then you also have other types of competitors. All right, so we're not going to go much more in depth um, than what we've already covered. Okay, but we're going to move on to underground economies. So apart from the market economy, you also have the underground economy. All right, so you have the underground economy, which is sort of like your black market, all right, or your flea market, whichever one of those two. Okay, in an underground economy, and the reason why I mentioned flea market as an underground economy is because you do have the option to buy and sell goods in cash. Okay, you're not paying taxes on your goods and services. All right. So this is an underground economy. In an underground economy, the underground economy works without government approval or without the approval of the market. Okay, so basically you have an auction, for example, the seller lists a product at a certain price, and then you have bidders that bid on the product, and whoever wins the bid basically buys the product or gets the product. All right, so you have underground economy. This is sort of like your black market. And apart from the underground economy, you also have one other type of economy. This is your mixed economy. And we see this type of economy in many parts of the world, apart from North America. When it comes to mixed economy is an economy where you have a mix of either market and command, a mix of either market and traditional, okay, a mix of either market and government control, so on and so forth. Okay, some countries in South America, for example, may have a mixed market, a mixed economy where they might have some government control over their market. Okay, so the government may set regulations, rules, and restrictions. They may control the prices via taxes, whatnot. Okay, so some government control over their economy. So this is your mixed economy. Okay, while other countries such as Russia and China, for example, okay, they're listed as having mixed economy with some command. Okay, so you have mixed economy. Okay, so this is government plus market. All right, or you have your market plus command. And the reason why these economies are important when it comes to figuring out how the market works is because, as I mentioned earlier, it has to do with setting prices and taking prices. It has to do with what you're able to sell in the market. It has to do with consumer demand. It has to do with taste and preferences. Okay, it has to do with all the factors that impact your aggregate demand and your aggregate supply, which covers cost of production. All right. So apart from that, this is Obey on behalf of Electronics. Have yourself a great day.